Okay, I think we should go ahead. And if any of you or any of your friends have missed this talk, probably we're gonna have a recording of it. So we will share with you guys at the end of the session. Only the people who are able to request it, we'll share with them. But yeah, let's jump into our session. Right. All right. So yeah, let's talk about cybersecurity. So guys, this is a cybersecurity careers roadmap seminar from the Payload Unit. So where our goal is to help beginners, non-technical peoples, and people who want to switch from their job into different roles into cybersecurity. We will help them to make understand in a very easy way, and a lot of strategies which will help you to grow and easily crack jobs. And we'll also talk about the skill set for different kind of people. If you are a student, what kind of skill set you should go for, and what are the things that you should focus. And if you are a fresh outs or a job seeker, how you should approach the jobs. And moreover, we are not going to just talk about that. Yeah, the normal or the traditional way that everyone says, pick up programming, pick up networking. We won't go in that way. We'll go into very much into a very realistic way, that how you can be a really successful in your life, if you are going to put your some of your hard work for a year, and you can really be successful in this career. So we're going to talk about not only just the technical skills, we'll also talk about all the different other skills. And at the end of this talk, we'll do 1 hour session, right? And at the end of this talk, we'll share with you a quiz session, and also a free ebook for you guys, for everyone who wants to start their journey. Like if you are a beginner or a student, you have a different sort of a guide, so that will be helpful to you. All right. So yeah, let's start and jump into the cybersecurity. Before we get understand, what kind of job roles we have, what is how much of the pay scale, and even can I jump into cybersecurity career without any technical degree or without programming. We will come into all these questions, but before, let's understand a very simplified way of what is a cybersecurity, right? Oh, I'm very sorry about it. But before we jump into, let me introduce myself. My name is Subhajit, and I'm a founder of a Payload Unit, and also I'm helping different startups in my career. It's been almost 10 years in my cybersecurity career, and I've helped in a lot of financial banks. I have helped a lot of crypto banks. I have helped a lot of global fintechs. So currently, I'm working with a company called Clar in Mexico. So previously, I was working with BlockFi and a startup called ScienceZ. So it was amazing working over there. I have gained a lot of experience from a global scale, working with different global people. So I'm going to burst and break down how these people can crack and build cybersecurity into a very realistic way. All right. So yeah, let's jump into what is cybersecurity. Cyber is known as internet. Security is just an security, like a defense line. So we are the folks where we are the first defense line of mechanisms of internet. All right. Let's simplify this. What is a cybersecurity? I love to simplify things, man. So in the old times, when there was all the countries or all the areas or all the geographical sections, this all the regions are being controlled by the kings and their kingdom, right? So in today's modern world, we have shifted from kings and their kingdoms to democracy, to a proper, you know politics, where you have a different sort of people who take care of different sort of tasks, right? The difference is not very much. It just we have been modernizing in this 2025 era, but in historically it was all same. There was a king who rules a country, and they have a army who takes care and occupy certain piece of land for their ruling kingdom. Just like that, cybersecurity is like this. Your company, let's understand in this way. Your company is your country. Your all the politics, all the ministers are your kingdom. Your king is your president or your prime minister, right? And every president and every prime minister or every king have a right hand, which is the general of army, right? Who is a general of main army. So in every company we have a officer of a security who takes care of all the defense line of mechanisms. So in every kingdom, a group of army is being controlled by a general, and a general reports to the king. In the same way, cybersecurity, there is a hierarchy in every organization, in every company, or in every government sectors. There is a one officer, which is a security officer, who reports to our kings or business owners. And in every kingdom, right, in every kingdom there are general of armies, and they have their different specialities. Someone is good at sword, what do you call in Hindi, talwar. And some are good in shooting, some are good in building a defense line, like they know how to defense strategies. And so every people have some sort of a special kind of skills, right? So for example, in uh, Japanese kind of a part, Asian, they had a samurai and they had a ninja. They had different sort of specialities, talented guys who helps kings to rule their kingdom. Just like in cybersecurity, we have different sort of specialities where the officer handles all this bunch of people to make sure there is no attacks, to make sure all their operational is going in a very smooth way. Is that clear? What is cybersecurity? It's nothing. It's just a line of defense where we help companies, government sectors to protect their assets. Assets in the sense all their business related entities. Right. So we are good in here. Now coming to the point that there are different kind of people who wants to get into cybersecurity. In this audience, there are a lot of people here, and I'm guessing there are two kind of people: one who are students, one who are freshly pass out or job seekers. So both of them have to be strategized in a very different way to learn cybersecurity and to make a successful career. So for the people who are students, if you are till your degree, like you are still in your college, consider yourself as a student, right? And there are freshly pass out who have just crossed their degrees and they're looking for jobs. And there are sort of people who are already into job but want to transition into cybersecurity. So I'll just consider these two categories. So for the people who are students, right, I'll tell you what to learn and how to approach. But you have to make sure in your mind that whatever you are going through in your life, doesn't matter how much fun you are having in your life, cut it out and start learning as early as possible. Even if you are in primary school, start learning. Even if you are in high school, start learning. Even if you are in college, start learning. Even with your degree, alongside with your curriculum, start giving some sort of time to cybersecurity every single day. This is for the students. And for the freshly pass outs and who wants to uh, switch from one career to another into cybersecurity, for them, uh, you should focus on executable things, right? So for students, you should focus on learning fundamentals and doing the projects. And people who are job seekers, you focus on more projects and less fundamentals. Okay, your projects will be your highlight feature. All right, and give yourself a time. See, dude. Even if you go to a gym, even if you try to build a six packs, it will at least take 6 to 7 months, right? So make prepare yourself. You are going and breaking into a new career. So don't expect you are going to learn cybersecurity within 30 days or 2 or 3 months. It's easy to get into cybersecurity within 30 days to 2 months, but it's very hard. It's very hard to crack a successful career. Even though you get into it, it's very easy to entry, but in a long run, you won't be able to survive in this industry. All right. So give yourself a little bit of time, 6 months to 1 year. Prepare yourself. And before we jump into our next slide, let's talk different minimum questions that you need to understand. That do I need a technical degree to get into cybersecurity? My answer is no. You don't need a technical degree, but yes, if you have a technical degree, it will be helpful to you. You will already had your fundamentals get clear in your college. You can adapt, or you can take it up all the advanced topics easily. But that doesn't mean you won't get a job if you don't have a degree. This industry only takes care of your skill. The skill is your first priority. If you even if you have a degree or not, that's an optional. If you are skillful enough, that everything that you have, like whether you have been to a jail, doesn't matter. They will skip it out if you have skills. So in this industry, skill is first priority. All right. But if you have a degree, it will be helpful to you. But that doesn't mean without a degree you cannot get into it. It's easy, no problem. Now coming to the second question that you guys have is, do we need a programming? No, you don't need a programming. In today's world where there is a lot of AIs, you don't need a programming to learn or to uh, get into cybersecurity. Yes, in the long run you might need it, but now you don't need it. So at least you should know your fundamentals of programming, everything, like whether it's a Python or a Bash. You just know the logics and behind of the programming, like understand what is a if statement, or understand what is a if else, what does the arrays, what does the pointers. This will help you to clear your concepts for your long run. But that doesn't mean that without knowing this you cannot get into it. If you feel like, okay man, I don't want to get into fundamentals right now, I'll do it in next year, but for this first year I'll actually do hacks. I love to do real hacking things. You can do it. You can start out things, and you can go for online labs, and you can do it. But yeah, that doesn't mean that you cannot get into the cybersecurity. But before you get into it, I'll just help you to explore that what kind of different roles we have in cybersecurity, and what kind of personalities of role that you can take it up according to your normal personality. So in cybersecurity, we have a category of list of categories of where the different engineers are. Think like if you are in a bank, right? So if you are a bank, you are a sales guy. But a sales guy can be in a account opening where he opens up a lot of accounts, and a sales guy could be into a insurance team where he only take care of only the insurance part of sales, and there is a sales guy who can only take care of only for the loans, right? So there's a special divisions. So in cybersecurity, we have a special division. So the first one is let's talk about is offensive. So what does it offensive mean? Offensive mean is where you actually hack things like a bad attacker, but you do it for your own company. You do it in a very friendly way, right? Let's say you hack it and you just let people know in your company that, okay, dude, I hacked this. This is the way where how it can be hacked, and this is how you can fix it before any bad guy can hack it. So you exactly like a bad guy, but your ethics or your boundaries is not to do any kind of destruction or harm your company. Instead, you help them out, right? You have all the skill set just like the bad or cyber criminals have. You have all the same way of how you can hack into things like website or mobile application, just like the same way. So it's more of a ethical way, right? It's more of ethical way. So it's called offensive. It's like an attack team. right? So there are a bunch of people who are specialized in attacking, right? So you test security of your company mobile application website or your company's softwares, and you let them know that this is the way how the bad hackers can hack it out. You just fix it, right? So then there's a bunch of people who are into defensive team, who are into protection team, who build softwares for your protections for the companies. Then there's sort of people who are into research. They love to discover new problems, new solutions. They study new cyber threats, new risk in the market, and they write research paper, or they build new softwares. They write different articles, or they publish new studies on cybersecurity. So this kind of people are into research field. Then you have engineers, where they build and they fix all the tools and systems that helps to protect the data, right? Like an engineer, right? So where you, for example, in an army, in a military, you have a attackers team, which, for example, like a special ops team like para SF or other special divisions. Then you have a defensive team like border security force, SSB, right? They only protect the security of the borders, they protect the people, right? Then we have the home security. So they are into the protection team. And there are researchers, like for example, intelligence officers. There are researchers who are into research field, who help governments to bring new research, to bring new studies for new discoveries, right? So then there are engineers who actually build things for like defense tools, or let's say something which helps to any of this team. Could be a defensive, could be offensive. Let's say there's an engineer who love to build guns, so that comes into offensive, that also comes into defensive. So engineer is doesn't mean that he's helping out only to one specific team, but yeah, he's a builder. He love to build things, whether he love to build guns, whether a knife, whether any tools or systems or softwares, any kind of protection mechanism. So they are more of like a digital architects. Then you have officer level people, where they manage people, where they set rules and boundaries to make sure everything is secure. They also take care of all the budgets, like how the budgets will be goes into different teams, right? Now these are the categories. So according to your personality, you can choose your first category of your cybersecurity. All right. So let's jump into in each of these roles, what each of the roles does. So in the offensive, you find there are people who take care of a network penetration testing. So they take care of all the things into the network. They make sure like data is being flowing very smoothly. And there are people who are into mobile penetration testing. They only hack mobile applications. Then there is a web, where they hack only websites, right? Uh, there is a application penetration tester. They hack any kind of application, whether website, mobile. Then you have API, different things. But yeah, they love to hack all kind of applications. Then you have a bug bounty hunter. So what is a bug bounty? So there are companies, big companies like Facebook, Uber, Mastercard. They have a set of policy that if anyone can hack any of our products, you just report it to us, we'll reward you. They are called bug bounty hunters, who love to hunt bugs for the companies. This is more of like a freelancing role. So uh, yeah, we love to find out issues from different company websites and mobile applications or anywhere, and you just report it to them. And this is called red team member. So red team is like a exact, like an attacker, and he will attack in an organization exactly like an attacker without knowing anyone. So it's more of like a drill mechanism, right? So whenever there is a drill, everything assumes everything into a realistic scenario, right? So nobody in the office will get to know that okay, there would be a red team operation where a hacker would get into and hackers. Only the business owners, only the top level people will get to know that okay, there is a red team program. It's more of like a drill, actual drill. And the red team guy is very interesting, even his job is to go and hack it. Doesn't matter whether you're hacking through your mobile phone, through your laptop, or you just get, you dress up like a security guy. You just get into your office and just plug a office computer with your computer and just take an access. It is fully a realistic way. His job is to get inside, get the job done, and get back. That's it. Okay, by any means, whether you dress up like a security guy, whether you go and check the office dustbins, you find it out any kind of receipts which is helpful to you, do any kind of operations, but all your job is to go get inside, hack it, get back. It's just like a special forces, a para SF or cobra force that we have in the military, right? Or US Delta team, SEAL team. So their job is to go, do the operation, finish out the mission without knowing anyone, get back to the safe or base. So this is more of like red team. And there's a role called exploit developer where you write code and you build exploits, or I would say you build using code where you can actually hack things, right? So it's more of like in technical terms we call it as a payload. So an exploit is being used as a payload to hack it. Okay, so an exploit is a bunch of codes where it actually creates the weakness of the system, and using the payload it gets hacked. The payload is a mechanism of transferring of your exploit. Then comes a defensive. So in defensive, there are a bunch of roles like mobile application where you build security for mobile application. You are specialized into mobile application security. Then you check out your code. There's something called code auditor where you look each of the codes and say, okay, this code is right, or this code is wrong, or this code can be hackable. You should improve the code. So they are the code audits. They do the code audits. Then there's a guy called application security expert where he take care of your application, like your product. If you have a mobile application of your company, he tells use this security mechanism. You should show to your users a security message. Any kind of related to your product security, he's your expertise guy. Then there's a guy called threat hunter, who find out new risk, new threats in uh, in the internet and create a report. Then there's a guy called Blue Team who is more of a defensive guy again, who build things for a defensive purpose. And there we have SOC, we call it SOC, Security Operations Centers, where you are more of just think of like a military guys who are into a computer lab where they are looking out everything like you've seen in movies, right? Where there are a bunch of people with their computers, everyone is looking different graphs and different logs. So these are the guys who are into security operations center. They are always into operations, right? And there's a guy called cyber threat analyst, and the threat hunter is almost the same, but here the threat hunter is actually finds out new risk, and the threat analyst actually analyze the threats in your organization, that okay, whether this threat or this risk or this issue or this bug or this vulnerability is being impacted by us or not. So this is the basically way. Then you have a malware analyst where they analyze new viruses coming up in the market. There is an incident responder where if incident happens in your company, like incident means, let's say an attacker gets into your companies or there's a data breach. It's an incident, right? It's an incident. It's like your business is on the fire. So you are the guy who responds when there's a fire in the building, how you should respond. There are different tactical ways in the militaries that we try to do it. Like when you are in the war, when you're pulling your triggers, right? And you need to talk to your buddy or your what do you say, battalion head, right? You talk in a very short format, right? And you do only, you respond in a very tactical way, right? It's like uh, Roger sir, right? So in such way, the tactical ways, the incident responder job is to, when there is an incident, how you can respond and how you can easily uh, fix that incident in a very good way. So your job is to that. You are specialized only to take care of incidents. Then there is a role called digital forensic analyst, where you analyze forensic device. Let's say you open up the hardware, you take it in a lab using the softwares, you check it out, what are the memories we have, what are the files we have. It's very much into forensic job roles. So if you are a guy who love to watch CIDs in your childhood, you would love this digital forensic role. All right. So there's another role. It's called SCADA, security specialist. SCADA is a high industrial level machines where it needs security. For example, a nuclear reactor has a lot of high machines uh, which is not publicized, or you cannot get it in the market. So those are like a SCADA systems, which are industrial based systems, right? For like water pumps, electricities, there are a lot of machines which needs a security. All right, SCADA security. Then you have an information security analyst who takes care all of your audits, who takes care all the policies in the organization, how information can be handled, how access, like how passwords would be handled in the organization, how you can transfer password from one person to another, all the policies and related. He is the guy who takes care of it. Right? Is that clear till now? Offensive and defensive, right? Okay, let's jump into the researcher field. So if you guys who love to do research, like if you have imagined yourself in your childhood that you want to become a scientist, you want to become a researcher, so this is your job role, where you research new security related stuff. We call you as a security researcher, where you only just research particular vulnerabilities. Vulnerabilities are the weaknesses in the systems. Right? It comes up every single day in the market. Like for example, there is a vulnerability in iOS 16. There is a vulnerability in MacBook. There is a vulnerability in Facebook. There is a vulnerability in Microsoft. So these are the weaknesses in different places. So vulnerability is known as the weaknesses. So you research on the vulnerabilities. Cyber threat analyst, you research on the threats, upcoming threats, like the virus group, like ransomware groups. You analyze different threat operations, like for example, if any kind of threat is coming to your organization, or a competitor company is planning to do a data breach to you, this comes under threat. So your job is to analyze those threats, right? Then there's a role called cyber operation system research engineer, so where you research on different defense operation systems. Is that clear? Does that make sense? So yeah, if you are into research field, these are the job roles you should actually take care of it. Go and check it out, what kind of job roles you have in research through the LinkedIn platform. You will have a lot of more exposure. Then you have an engineer, where you have a DevSecOps engineer, where you take care of all the security software deployments, where you take care of all the code. Like if your developers is writing code and pushing it to GitHub, how you can make sure that whole environment is secure, how the code is secure. There are a lot of people downloading the codes. I mean, there are a lot of developers who are downloading the codes in their laptops. How you can make sure that uh, the codes are safe, right? Or if some developer is pushing a code, there has to be a mechanism where like at least two or three people should approve before the code gets accepted. So this sort of policies, this sort of deployments, this sort of mechanisms are being done by DevSecOps engineers. And then you have a security engineer who are mostly divided into hardware and software. So hardware security engineers, and you are building, defensing all the machines or hardwares. But mostly the cybersecurity engineer job is for software. So where you take care of all the different policies, where you build different uh, defense tools and make sure those tools are being impact have a high impact, right? So these are like basically engineer part of jobs. So you become like a digital security architects inside of your organization. And for example, there are different roles like security architects, and all those are also comes under the security engineer. And there's a role called automation engineer. His job is nothing. His job is to automate things. What do you mean by automation? Is like, for example, I want to make a mechanism where I don't have to touch my keyboard, and at a time when there is a when there is like 1 o'clock in the laptop's time, it will automatically joins me into a meeting. So this is a sort of an automation where you make it in a very automatic way. All right. So let's say the automation engineer, his job is to, let's say, in a very simplified way. If I want to explain you, I don't know if this would be a right example, but yes, let's say your organization has a requirement that you need to create three different reports from three different softwares in every Friday. So your job is to create using a code, using a Python or Bash, using a code. You write it out in a code that on Friday this code will automatically run, and it will fetch reports from this softwares, and it will be sent to an email. So it's very much in an automatic way. Right? So automation engineers does everything into a automatic way or automatic approaches. His job role is just that. Although you won't get automation engineer job requirements, but yeah, most of the times you will find the security engineer roles which has the responsibility of automation engineer. So if you're a security engineer, you take care of all this. And network security engineer is the same. You take care of network like firewalls, modems, switches, routers. Even if it's these words are very much technical for you, but as you grow, as you keep learning things out, it will be very easy for you guys. So yeah, just to understand, you take care of all the networking parts. Networking, for example, networking of data, networks of devices. You take care of all this. And there's a cloud security engineer. So cloud security is everything, all the softwares, everything is hosted. Like if you type in your browser www.google.com, it is hosted in a cloud. What do you mean by cloud? So you see a google.com website, that is the website files or the website codes is into somewhere in a computer, where the computer has to be 24/7 open, right? If it's not open, then we call it the website is down. So it's not easy task to open up your computer for the whole single day. So we discovered, or we built something called cloud. Cloud is just like an internet. It's just like a computer is not in your home, but sitting somewhere in some place in the country, and there are providers who provide these cloud services. Like they have a bunch of big machines and laptop, or not laptops, I mean big bunch of PC computers set up in somewhere somewhere in some other country, and they give a rented service to you, that if you want to put your google.com code and files into our system, it will be 24/7 up and running. So you don't need to take care of don't need to operate a PC from your home. So we take care of everything. So this is something called cloud. It's not in your home, but it's somewhere in other part of the country, or other part in a global region. So where we host everything. So all the companies, everything, all the companies and all the startups, everything, they have all the hosted files, codes, everything. All the heartbeat of a company is into the cloud. So clouds are AWS, Microsoft Azure, different cloud service providers. And then there's something called data security engineer, where your job is to understand how the data is going to be flow in an organization, like how the passwords will be shared, how a data or files will be shared, different policies you will come up with, you take care of compliance and all those part, right? So these are the engineer part. Now coming to the point of officers, who the officer roles are there are basically three common officer roles. One is a data privacy officer, where the data security engineer reports to the data privacy officer. He take care of all the privacy related things. Why it is important? Why there is a data privacy officer, but there is no some let's say there is no security engineer officer? No, I'll tell you why. Because the privacy is very much important in India. A company, if you are like taking off customer data, if you don't handle the sensitive data, you don't give security to this sensitive data, and if it gets data breach, if your company gets data breach, right, you get penalty of almost like 250 crores. It's an easy way to shut down a business. You do a data breach, and the government will penalize or give a heavy penalty to the company that they cannot even operate again. Is that clear? So data privacy officer is very much important. In Europe side, privacy is very important. It's very hard for Google, Microsoft to operate in Europe. They have a lot of cases. If you go to YouTube, you can see there are a lot of court cases that they have to face because of the data, right? And the more interesting part, I would say, because of this Europe have this strict data policy. So those European countries tells Google that you cannot take the data the way you want it. You should ask a consumer that whether he is interested to sharing a data with you or not. So this had been a very big consequence, and since then the Google develops or created this permission in Android. Whenever you install an application, it asks you for permission, right? Whether you give a mic access, whether you give a camera access. This is the reason Europe countries, they penalized Google so heavily that since then they developed this data kind of thing. They take care of this data in a very strict way. So you need a data privacy officer. So if you're a big company, you need a data privacy officer to handle sensitive data. And there is a chief security information officer and a chief security officer. These both are same. So they are the ones. Remember, I told you that with every king there is a general, right? So there is a general of army who takes care or who reports to the king or the country's president or prime ministers, right? So he is the one who handles all the army units. So there are a bunch of people who are being managed by battalion units, and those battalion units are being managed by the main general of army, which is a chief information security officer. So all the roles that you see here is being under a officer roles. So people of this chief information security officers, even the data privacy officer is under the chief information security officer. So these are like very officer roles. So if you guys love to lead people, if you guys love to do such kind of work which has high impact, this is the role for you. This is more of leadership quality, right? So these are the roles basically we have in cybersecurity, very common roles. You research each of your role. Like how to pick it up is, first you look at your own personality. If you are aggressive enough, go for offensive one, right? If you feel like you love to take responsibility, you love to take responsibility of many people, you love to help people, then you get into defensive. if you love to research things, if you think like, okay, I need to bring new things, man, uh, I need to create legacy, right? Where if you want to create a legacy, if you want to leave your footprints, research is your field. Okay. And if you love to build things, like if you want to build software, if you love to build quality softwares, love to build architect things, engineering is your option. Go for the roles which are in the engineers roles. And if you love to be a leadership guy, you love to speak well, if you have good communication, if you have good vision, if you know how to handle things, go for the officer role. All right. So these are the basically different kind of personality. Choose any of these according to your personality. Let's say I love, I am a more of aggressive kind of a guy. I love to hack things directly, right? So I'm into offensive team. So here in my offensive team, I have this roles. Let's say here I have these roles. Now I will sit with the Google and I'll try to research all these roles. Whichever roles sounds interesting, whichever roles I feel like, okay, this is the role I wanted to do. You pick it up. Then you start learning things like, for this role, what are the things I need to prepare myself. But at first, you get clarify that what you need to do. Don't jump around. I have seen people who are applying for security engineer roles, who are applying for this blue team roles, who are applying for forensic roles. Man, this doesn't work. For every role, you have to create a separate kind of a CV. Your resume has to be separate way. I'll talk about it in quite some time. But yeah, you have to build in such a way. You have to be primarily focused. Okay, this is the role that I want to get into it, and how to do it. Let's jump into the next step. All right. So we are clear about all the roles that we have in cybersecurity and how to choose if you are a beginner, right? And let's talk about, let's say we chose security engineer. Let's example, right? And in every role there is a seniority level, right? There's a career growth. You first join as an intern. In cybersecurity, the most problematic and most important part is your entry level. If you crack this too, if you have done internship, if you are already into a junior level, then getting into all these levels is very easy for you. But at first you have to crack your entry to barrier. For students, you focus on your fundamentals, then projects. For people who are looking for jobs, focus on project first, then fundamentals. All right. Now coming to the point, you joined a company with an internship. Even if you don't have an internship, you try to build as many projects and post it in GitHub, in LinkedIn. All right. And you have to market it, right? You have to market it that, okay, this is the tool that I have built, blah blah blah, and you just have to market yourself to get into the spotlight, right? So this is your first task. Second is junior level. So you joined a company, mostly you're going to join a company as a junior level, which is around like you will spend 1 to 3 or 4 years, and then you get into the mid level where your salary hike would be, there will be a salary hike and there will be much more responsibilities. You get into mid level, which is around like 5 to 6 or 7 years of experience. Then you get into senior levelity, which is again 6 to 10 years of experience. Then there's something called staff level. Not every company have this, but it's like a staff engineer, a staff security engineer. So when there's a staff security engineer, he is always higher than the senior level. Is that clear? And many companies might not have this staff level. They just have a senior level, then lead or a manager. So once you completed this internship, junior level, mid level, senior level, and get into staff level or lead, or you are managing and leading the team, right? Then you get into something called a principal cybersecurity engineer, principal security engineer, where you actually manage multiple people. You can manage these guys, or you can also manage different managers of a different team, right? Different teams in the sense offensive, defensive, researcher. These are different categories of teams, right? So a principal security engineer is going to manage all these people. The director is the head of a security. He manages all these people. So he is the guy. He principal security engineer reports to the director of security, where director is going to ask to the principal security engineer, hey, tell me how's everything in the offensive team. He said, the principal guy will say, yeah sir, everything is all good and great. He might ask, okay, how's everything in terms of security. Principal security engineer would say, sir, everything is good. We are just little bit out of budget in let's say in defensive team, so we need more budget in defense. So this kind of communication, this kind of managerial tasks, director takes care of. Then you have something called VP of security, or there might be a companies where you don't see staff level, you don't see principal or director directly senior to manager, then by VP of security. So VP of security is a vice president where it takes care of all the security teams. Okay, in case there is no one in the CISO or the CISO is absent, he rules over all these teams. Is that clear? And CISO is basically the highest officer, where he reports to business owner or CTO directly, CEO or CTO. He directly reports to the business owners. And yeah, so this is the basically hierarchy of every role that you are going to see in your industry. And these roles can be very differently, and every role has different expectations of every company. So you just don't jump directly into the senior level. Even if you have good skills, don't jump into the senior level, because the responsibilities and the expectations are very much different than the mid level or the junior level. Okay, so you go hierarchy by hierarchy. Even if you're getting like in your life, you might get a good promotions. A lot of companies, a lot of manager will ask, maybe I will promote you from mid level to directly to staff level. If you're not ready enough, don't take it. Don't take up, because it includes a lot of responsibilities. If you cannot handle the responsibilities, just don't jump and say yes, right? So now coming to the point, okay, I understood these are the different career options, these are the different things. I am interested in offensive security, or I am interested in researcher, but how can I learn things? Right? This is a very much common question. Okay, now coming to the point, technical skills. See, to get a successful job, you should be able to have a good technical and non-technical skills. We'll talk about non-technical skills. First technical skills that you need to do is, you should need at least basics of networking, man. At least you should know what is the IP, what are the VPNs, what are the firewall. These are the concepts you should at least learn. These concepts are being taught in colleges in engineering degrees. So if you are already in engineering degrees, you might have known all this concept. But if not, you just learn it out. Doesn't matter if you have a degree or not. I told you again and again, you don't need a degree to learn these things. You can go to YouTube and learn this concept. There's something called operating system concept. So it doesn't mean operating system concept doesn't mean only just Windows, Linux, and Macs. No. It includes very much deep level. Understand how the pointers work. Understand how the memories work. Understand how the process work. Understand how the process segmentation works. Understand how different concepts are there in operating systems. Now you go and learn it out, man. There's something called process freezing. There's something called multiple threads, threading. So learn all these concepts. Why? There will be people who say you don't need a operating system concepts. Let me tell you, to do a basic hacking, a basic hacking is old school hacking. The basic hacking, I would say, buffer overflow. You need at least a memory level concepts to get clear to understand buffer overflow. Okay, so you need a little bit of all this little bit of foundational concept. I'm not saying you go and learn out in a very deep way, but at least you need a clear fundamental concept, because in interviews you might they might ask you for this. Then you should at least know scripting and automation using a Python or Bash. Nowadays we have AI, so you don't need a fluent in Python or any programming or coding language, but at least you should know the concept of programming. What is the loops? what are the pointers, what are the arrays, what are the data types, basic things. No, okay. So I'm not saying you need to write a fluent code at this point of time. You can learn it in your journey, but at least to start out your cybersecurity careers, at least you learn different concepts. You just write it in a chat GPT that, okay man, I need to clear my concept of programming without learning actually the programming. Give me the concepts. We'll give you the concept. All right. And using the AI, you can create a little bit of small basic scripting and automation scripts, which is enough to get into entry level jobs or internships. Learn different security tools. There are a lot of different security tools that you have. You download it and you learn how to run it. There are a lot of tools. There are a lot of free tools. I will have another seminar for this, the different security tools, how to run it and what are the purpose. But yes, you just know how to run these different tools. Then there's something called log analysis. So what is a log analysis? Every device or every software in this planet Earth, leaves some kind of logs. What is a log? Log is basically a bunch of records of activities, right? So let's say the activities is like, for example, you have a Facebook. There is something called, in settings section, you see there's something called activity log. If you go there, it will give you all the records that when you have logged in, from which IP it have been logged in, what are the things they have did inside of this. So it will give all the recorded details. So a log analysis. So you have to analyze all these records. It can be a log of a computer, it can be a log of a software, but yes, there are very much easy. We will have a lot of other workshops in upcoming sessions about all this. So stay tuned, and we'll help you to teach all this. But overall, the concept is just that you should learn different kind of tools to find out issues, weaknesses, then something called incident responses, where there's a fire in your company, and how you can escalate things, how you can mitigate, or how you can fix those things. So these are the incident response basic steps that you should learn. You should know how to build security tools using AI or using Python, Bash, build security tools. Then there's something called penetration testing, where you actually test an application or a website to hack things. We call it as a penetration testing. So we basically hack into things. So you at least know a little bit of hacking and a little bit of familiarity of cloud security like AWS Azure. So every company runs on AWS Azure. You should have a little knowledge of this cloud security. Doesn't matter even if you have all this knowledge, you don't know cloud security. If you joined a company, you don't know how to apply these skills in cloud. There's no point of learning these skills. So these are the basic skills that you should learn about it. Okay, and these are the technical skills. And now coming to the point of non-technical skills, I have seen in my career there are a lot of guys who are very good in technicals but cannot crack a successful job like that. Why? You know why? I'll tell you why. First thing that you need to understand that you should have a English communication and understanding in a very clear way, because there will be people from China, there are people from South America, people from India, where English language is not the first language, right? It's the second language for us. But all the contents, the hacking itself comes out from the English language. It comes out from US, Europe, different places where English was the first thing, right? Even in the MITs, comes out from MIT and different labs, Bell Labs. So all these are communication happened in English. So all the contents that you see, all the quality contents that you see on the YouTube or in Twitter, or if you read any article, everything in English, because English is a global language. It can be understood by everyone, whether you are from China or you're from India or you are from South America. Doesn't matter, right? So I'm not saying you go and learn English grammar or verb. No, at least you should understand English, and at least you should speak little bit of English. Speak little bit of, not fluently, not even fluently. It's okay. Okay, there's no problem. But not fluently, but yeah, at least you should understand English, because whenever you watch a YouTube video, all the contents are from English. What are you gonna do? Not today, but tomorrow it will be needed to do. So English, give a preference to English. At least you understand things. I'm not saying you go and learn the basic grammar. Just watch the videos and contents, watch the videos of different people who are fluent in English. Try to understand things. This will help you not only in your cybersecurity career, in any point of time. Even if you write with the chat GPT, your prompt has to be very much clear in English so that you get a good English response. Just an example. Then comes your presentation skills. So in a presentation skills, you are very much needed, because if you want to present something to your company, to your team, to anyone, you should have a good presentation skill. Or else no one would be attentive, no one would give a damn about you. Coming to the point, the negotiation skills. Why negotiation skills is important? If you are in an incident, let's say there's an incident, or you have to fix something from a developer whose time zone is different than you. He is sleeping at the night. Now you have to talk to him and you have to make him understand that there is a fire in the business. There is someone already, an attacker who hacked it. Now you have to fix it. But this guy would say, no man, I don't care. This is not my time zone. I'm not get paid to work in this time zone. For example, I'm saying you should know how to negotiate. Right? So, for example, in my company, I take care of almost like 1.1 or 2 CR of budget for different vendors of different cybersecurity softwares. So, for me, I need a good negotiation skills to at least talk with these software vendors, to, before they give us an invoice or quotation of this much will cost for this software. You should know how to negotiate. If you know how you negotiate, your company will trust you, your manager will trust you, everyone will trust you, everyone will feel confident putting you in the first line of front face, right? So you know how to negotiate, and negotiation skills is very much important, whether in your company, whether in your relationship, whether in your with the relationship with the father and mother, everywhere in your place, in every point of your life, negotiation is very much important, right? So learn how to negotiate, and don't speak gibberish. Don't speak to any of your team members, or don't speak any people or an interviewer, to anyone gibberish things. It has to be very much sharp, clear, and short, like a military word. Right? When there is a war zone, the communication of the militaries are very much different, because they don't have time to bullshit around. They don't have time to explain that the terrorist is wearing yellow colored of t-shirt, he's looking good, here is this. We don't have so much of time, right? So it works in a very sharp, clear, and short way. He says the target is in front of me. Should I trigger or not? Your battalion team will say, let's eliminate. You just trigger it, eliminate it. Roger that, sir. You just trigger it yourself. So everything happens in a very short span of time. So you have to speak in a very sharp and clear way. And if something doesn't happen, if you couldn't do it, don't give out to your reason to your manager that sorry, I couldn't do it because I had this issue, my laptop was not working, I was working in this. Nobody has time to listen to your bullshit. It has to be very much clear and a sharp way. Whether it has been done or yes or no. Yes, sir, it has been done. And this is the issue which will take care of it in the next time. So everything is to be in a very clear and short way. Right? What you have done, what is the impact of it, and if something is left over, how you can tackle it in future in a very clear and short way. And next, you have to understand that your identity is your whole team's identity. You carry the brand image of your cybersecurity team, even if you are in a company. You go out to a developer team, you talk to something related to security. You are actually you're carrying an image of your security team. So don't bullshit around it. Okay? So make sure you carry the brand image of your team. Your team have spent a lot of time there. Your team have build that trust in front of everyone in a very hard way. So you don't go and ruin it. You must know how to take care of that responsibility. That this is my team. I'm actually presenting my team. You're not a ABCD. You're not a Subhajit. You're not a Bhuvan. You're not a Uday. You are actually presenting your cybersecurity team. You are a security team member. So that's what everyone sees. All right. So that is one thing, that your identity is your team's identity. Don't make a silly mistakes, right? Don't go and say to any of your team member or other team members or your manager or anyone that, hey man, I have tried, but I can't do it. That's a silly mistake. You actually come up with a solution that I have tried this, but my blocker is this. In this step, I cannot do it. So it has to be very much clear. So don't make silly mistake. Try everything before you ask someone. Okay, try yourself first. One time, two time, three time, five time, 10 time. Doesn't matter how much time it will take, but try as many as possible. Then you go and ask someone that, oh, hey man, I can't do it, or I am not able to understand. Could you help me? So this is the way of doing things. Even if you are in a company, or even if you are with your friends or families or whoever, live a life in that way. Learn responsibility and learn ownership. Okay, that think everything in terms of value, effort, impact, cost, and outcome. I call it VICO. Right? Every action that you're going to take, let's say you want to buy a house, or you want to buy a new security software, or you want to test something, or you want to talk to someone, or you want to present someone to something. Understand in terms of value, how much value I am going to put, right? How much effort it's going to take, and how much impact, like whether it's going to be big impact, small impact, bad impact, good impact. How much is the impact, and how much is the cost? Cost is not in terms of money, in terms of energy, in terms of time, in terms of everything, in terms of number of people, right? What's the cost, and what is the outcome? How much I will get the outcome? So if the outcome is greater, then do it. But in every action that you are going to take, think in terms of value, effort, impact, cost, and outcome. Okay. So already we are 1 hour, but I'll take few more minutes, and we are almost going to wrap it up. So please guys, stay tuned. This key elements will help you out, man. I have seen a lot of great experts who are good in skill sets, who are good in technical skills, but they don't have non-technical skills. So they don't actually. The company thinks that no, this guy is not good fit for us. This guy is actually going to drain our team's communication. So they get rejected. Doesn't matter how good your skills are. If your non-technical skills are not good, if your soft skills are not good, you become a liability to that team. All right. So it's better to someone pick it up who have less technical skills but good non-technical skills. Every company wants that. And the cybersecurity career is a very high-paying career, but it also a very stressful career. So if you really want to make money, I would say don't find some other role, find some other career job options. Cybersecurity is a very stressful industry. If you are only passionate enough, you can do it. If you're not passionate enough, today or tomorrow, in the long run, you will give it up. Right? So, but at first, before you step in, make sure this is for you. Don't just jump tomorrow and just start learning things. No. At first, evaluate whether this career option is actually suitable for me or not. Okay, spend time, take time, 1 month, 2 months, 3 months. At least you are not going to waste your 1 year or 2 year of learning, right? So evaluate things very carefully before you jump action. Our emotional states always very much into a hurry, in a fast forward way, because our brain is designed in such a way that if you give a certain task, it will find out the most fast and shortcut way to do it. But in terms of choosing your career, it doesn't work like it, man. So you should spend a lot of time, evaluate it, whether it's good for me or not, whether I am able to do this or not. Then you jump into it. Then you start learning things. All right. So this is a stressful career, as I told you, and it's a continuous learning career. So you have to learn for your whole life. It doesn't work like this. Like for example, okay, man, I learned Adobe Photoshop. Now I can do graphic designing stuff. No, it doesn't work like that. We have almost like 10,000s of softwares, security softwares. How many of you are going to expertise it? And every single day there's a new attack, there's a new learning. So you have to learn every single day. If you miss your 1 week into a vacation, you have to get back from the vacation and start learning what you have missed out. So this is such kind of a career. So even I do it. Still I do it. Even if I go for a vacation, I get back and spend time at whatever new things happening. I learn it things out. And use standard terminology, right? So everything you do as certain, use a standard terminology. You will learn this as you experience, as you start working in a company. Okay, but as much as possible, use chat gpt. That, hey chat gpt, give me standard terminology for cybersecurity. Start learning all those, so that when you speak like an experienced guy, not an inexperienced guy. So standard terminology is very much important. So let's take an example. I'm an inexperienced guy, and my friend is he is also inexperienced guy. Okay, we are in a war field. Now I have to ask my battalion head that I need to terminate a terrorist. So my way of asking is, sir, there's a target, can we eliminate? Is it positive or negative? I say it's positive. The other guy would say, sir, I'm seeing a terrorist wearing this, and he has a gun. What do you think? Should we shoot it down? Actually, the second one sounds very inexperienced. Both of the sentence are same. Both of their mission is same. Both of are speaking the same way. It's just the terminologies are different, right? So always use standard terminology. That will make you sound you are a very experienced guy. Okay, and the next last is learn combat reporting and tactical skills and escalations. When there is an incident, how to escalate, how to speak, how when to call your teammates, how to take care of without disturbing your teammates, how you can take care all alone. Learn all this. It's non-technical skills. All right. Don't worry, guys. I will share all this PPT with you. And before we jump into, there is one very much important question, that whether AI is going to take all the jobs in cybersecurity. See, dude, the question itself is a stressful. Whether AI is going to take care of my job in future. The question itself is stressful. Don't take a stress which is going to happen in future. Let's focus on the present, right? And to tackle this AI, to make sure that AI you are going to AI is not going to take up your job or don't eat up your job. The first thing is you take a proactive defense, which is you learn with AI. Learning with AI is a very faster way of learning things. So you learn with AI, you build security tools using the AI, right? For example, I was working in a tool. I think I made a tool which would have been like almost like a 30 days to code that specific software or specific tool. But using the AI nowadays, I'm able to do it in one single hour or within one single day. So there's a very much of cost cutting and time cutting using the AI. So use AI. Use AI as your friend. Don't fear it. Don't make it you versus AI. AI is very powerful, but use AI with your creativeness, right? So you build things that will help you to become much more valuable in the industry using the AI. And there's a proactive fear which you need to eliminate. You first evaluate if you are already into a job, or if you have just joined an internship, or if you are into a senior level or a junior level. If your job has a repeated actions, it can be done via the AI. So if there is any kind of repeated actions, you can see the pattern. There's a repeated, let's say you open this, you write this comment, and you close it out. It's a repeated task. It can be done by the AI, or a automation engineer can do it for you. So there's no point of stuck around with that. So learn how you can automate things using the AI, and you actually put your time into something where there is no repeated actions. Right? So this is the very much important question that you should take care of, and don't stressful about your future. Don't stress that whether I'm just joining, I'm just a beginner, whether I can able to compete with AI. Don't worry about it. First get into this industry, then you talk about whether AI is going to take up a job or not. Now it's almost done, guys. We have gone through of all the roles and how you can take up your personalities, using the matching your personalities, how you can take up the job roles. This is the quiz time. please scan it out and do a quiz. We can take 2 minutes of break. Please, if you do the quiz using a Gmail account, I'm going to share this PPT and a free guide. I have a free guide with the free resources of YouTube. Like while I was learning cybersecurity, I used to see a lot of movies, documentaries, and also the tutorials. This is the way how I was balancing my learning. So I have created a free guide which will help you for all the, like, I've also segregated this guide into week 1, week 2, week 3, all the learning steps and all the playlists which are already available in YouTube for free. And I have a full guide of 10 pages. Please scan it out. Please do the quiz. I'm going to share you the PPT and the guide, free guide, in your email. All right. So please, for the 5 minutes, you please scan it out and start doing it. And if you face any kind of issue, please let me know in the chat box, right? And if you have any kind of questions, please write it out in the chat box. So yeah, let's wait for 2 more minutes, and in the next, I'll just give you our WhatsApp group link where you can join, where you can discuss things, and where we are going to, as a payload unit, we are organizer, we are going to add very experts who are already cybersecurity experts. We are going to add them into the group so that you can ask any kind of questions in the group and they can answer you. But before that, please do the quiz. Everyone, I would ask everyone to do it so that I can share you the PPT, the recorded of this webinar, and the free guide. The free guide is going to be useful for you guys. And if you have any kind of questions, drop in the chat, please. So Muhammad had a question in the chat box that are there any opportunities the payload unit will give us apart from the details on cybersecurity? I mean, you mean job offers? Okay, yeah, that's a very good questions. Not now, but in future for sure. But also currently, we are preparing a course. We have two different course, which is a beginner course that will cost you around 30,000 INR, Indian rupees, which goes for 3 months, and it's a very, like, 30,000 is very non-negligible, because if you look at it, the other course prices is very much in cybersecurity. So we have a two section. One is beginner, one is advanced. Every course is 3 months, 30,000 each of the course. And if you take both of the course, it will cost you 50,000. And after both of the course, after 6 months, you will get a free internship with our payload unit, where we will give you help you to learn every topics, where we will show you how to build softwares, how to build security things, and it's going to be very much practical. I'm not going to teach you what is the IP, what is a browser. Yes, I'm going to teach you all the concept in a very practical way. And those courses are for non-technical people, for even if you don't have a degree, for those people. Because I'm going to simplify those courses in a very simple way. Like, our first class is basically a demo, and I explain how we connect with the internet. What happens when you type www.google.com and press enter? What actually happens in the backside? So I explained it in a very simple way. So those are the courses. You can go and check it out in our website. It's payloadunit.com. And if you're interested, yeah, you can let us know. We can share with you. But yeah, that is a part of course part. And regarding the events, we always have free events, and we're planning very much more exciting events. For example, we are going to take up a lot of expert hackers, and we'll ask them their mental state, how they have started learning, what they do now, what are the day-to-day jobs they do, and activities, all sort of things. So yeah, stay tuned. After this slide, I'm going to share you our WhatsApp group link. Please make sure you join those WhatsApp group so that you can ask your questions to the expert and also get notified for the next events. And I don't know if you guys done with the quiz. Please scan it out if you haven't, or if you are not able to do it, please write it in chat. And this is the basically our WhatsApp group. And I want to thanks to Reza Duty, who were the job roles. This job role, I have took it from him in his GitHub. So I would love to contribute my thanks to him. And this is our Payload Unit WhatsApp group. Please scan it out. I don't know if it is available. Yeah.